I have spoken a lot about intelligence agencies and the program. Now I will show you that I am directly trying to resolve the situation. This time I'm going to publicize a request for Indirect Insight into if the Danish intelligence agencies are unjustifiably keeping or and processing records on me. This is now possible to do through the new Intelligence Agency Oversight Committee, where they allegedly make small investigations to see if the intelligence agencies are conducting themselves lawfully when processing and or keeping records on citizens. This Oversight Committee consists of 5 people: a High Court judge, an attorney, a professor in political science, the director for the Danish regions, a chairman of the University of Roskilde. 4 of the group members have been selected by the Justice Minister in negotiations with the Defence Minister. The 5th member of the group is the High Court judge, whom has been selected by the High Courts of Denmark. The Oversight Committee will supposedly check and conduct a small investigation to see if the intelligence agencies PET or and FE are conducting themselves within the law, while processing or and keeping records on me, Stephen Bell. Moreover, if the intelligence agencies are not conducting themselves within the law, the committee will allegedly insist on the intelligence agencies deleting the records on me, and the use of the information would cease. The other scenario would be that they are conducting themselves legally and nothing further will happen. Either way, the Oversight Committee will reply, but they are only allowed to give one answer. There is, after all, a catch. There is not being kept or processed any unjustified records on you, and this answer is the only answer that they, the Oversight Committee, are allowed to give you. Therefore, it really doesn't matter whether or not the intelligence agencies are upholding the law, as the answer will be the same, which means that you have to put your blind faith into this mainly government-appointed Oversight Committee actually overseeing the intelligence agencies. This means there is no way to verify whether or not the intelligence agencies are conducting themselves within the law and upholding your rights when they process or keep your records. Therefore, this possibility for indirect insight is more to show than anything else, but nonetheless it's a good PR move for the government. I will use this PR move against them to show you and my fellow Danish citizens that this kind of oversight committee is next to pointless and hardly independent. As most people already know, I'm the subject in an intelligence program. I have named this program the program, as I'm obviously not aware of the classified name, so the program is a fitting name for this intelligence operation. You are most likely also aware that my government, the Danish government, and a collaboration of governments have implemented and introduced the program into the civilian sector, not just here in Denmark but on a much broader scale. Moreover, I, Stephen Bell, the subject, has been labelled with several accusations, which is being used as the justification and the so-called reasoning for the implementation of the program. And that narrative has been used the last 6 to 7 years publicly. And now, here in year 2015, everything has become so blatantly obvious that this whole narrative has been blown right out of the sky. As it obviously doesn't take the most powerful and influential people and agencies 6 to 7 years to put together a prosecution against a single person whom has been blamed and accused for everything under the sun, which is already 2 factors that goes against the establishment's narrative. Furthermore, if their narrative was to be true, I would have been called in for questioning a long time ago, which has never happened, nor have I been arrested or even accused of anything officially. Which is 3 more factors that goes against the establishment's narrative. And since these important factors are essential in any kind of police investigation, it's not hard to make the case that this so-called reasoning for the whole program is a fabricated pretext, which has been created for this sole purpose. The same factors that are essential in any investigation are also central for the intelligence agencies, because there is fortunately laws which sets the criteria for when and how the intelligence agencies are allowed to conduct operations against citizens. And if the Danish Intelligence Agency, PET, conducts an investigation into a civilian, there are certain criteria which has to be met before it's legal for PET to do. And obviously there are different criteria for different things. But in my case, and in the case of the program, the most exotic and advanced surveillance technologies are being used, in combination with the most ruthless and torturous methods, which goes against several laws, treaties and human rights conventions, which makes their operation illegal. This I have noted to the Intelligence Agency Oversight Committee, which I have done in 4 points. First being that PET and/or FE are violating the law when they obtain information through surveillance means, as they are not fulfilling the requirements set by the Administration of Justice Act, paragraph 781. 2. PET and/or FE are not fulfilling the requirements set by the Intelligence Agency Act, paragraph 4, when they obtain records throughout other government institutes on me. 3. PET and/or FE's treatment and processing of my records is illegal because they do not meet the requirements from the Intelligence Agency Act, paragraph 7, subsection 2. 4. PET and/or FE's disclosures of the information to other parties is illegal because the disclosures does not meet the requirements of the Intelligence Agency Act, paragraph 10, subsection 2, see paragraph 7. All these 4 points are touching upon 4 different aspects of the program. First being gathering information through surveillance means. Second was obtaining records throughout other government institutes. Third was the intelligence agencies keeping and processing records on me. The 4th point, disclosure of the information that they obtain through the first 2 points. These 4 different aspects of the program are essential in understanding how an intelligence operation is conducted, and these are by far the only aspects or points to the program, but they are fundamental. And if these points of this intelligence operation are illegal, then there is no doubt that the whole program is illegal. This fact is well known and understood by most serious people. And when you begin to understand this, then it's not that difficult to understand why they are so fixated on blaming and accusing me of everything under the sun, as that takes all the attention away from what is actually going on in reality, which is that the program has paramount implications for nearly every single one of us in one way, shape or another, and that fact is only expanding as time goes on, which I, in contrast, do not, as I have no influence or implication on anyone's lives, which is why these fraudulent cunts have such an easy job when extrajudicially blaming and accusing me of everything from being a terrorist to a pedophile without ever charging or even accusing me officially, rendering me defenceless against this political persecution of me. Unfortunately, most people have a flawed perception on this, because even though I have no influence or implication in anyone's lives, I'm still a prime example of how governments and their intelligence agencies can and will treat their own citizens. And because most people are willing to follow and act upon whatever these agencies choose to implement from day to day, there is no limit to what these people and agencies are willing to do and are getting away with, despite all the implementations have been going against the most fundamental of principles in a democracy. These major changes will never be reverted again. These principles will be lost forever. And no one has any interest in that happening except the governments. Which is why I say most people have a flawed perception on this. I hope this short film has given you some more perception on the situation, and I will carry on with my work, so I at least have done all I can do to prevent this from happening to you.